Hi everyone, I hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite YouTuber. Today, I'm gonna be answering your frequently asked questions concerning robotic affirming. But before we get into it, you are more than welcome to subscribe. On this channel, I talk about all things law of assumption. So if that sounds good to you, I would love to have you here. If you would like to enroll in my Manifest Your SP course, if you would like to book one-on-one coaching, or if you would like to join my collective coaching members only, all of the information will be in the description box down below. Alternatively, you can go on RitaKaminski.com and all of the information will be there as well. Do we need to feel anything or imagine while robotic affirming? Many say the feeling is the secret. What if I'm doing robotic affirming for so long and still don't feel anything? You absolutely do not need to feel anything while robotic affirming. It's in the name. Robotic affirming simply means you are saying a sentence without emotion, like a robot. You are mindlessly saying a mantra without thinking about it at all, without feeling it at all. The key is in the repetition of the words, not the words themselves or the meaning behind it or the feeling behind it. It is simply you repeating the same sentence over and over again so your subconscious mind can accept it as a fact. How long max should it take to get our desire with robotic affirmations? It's all about you dedicating yourself and persisting and repeating an affirmation over and over again. If you are disciplined and you are correctly doing this, meaning your dominant thoughts, meaning affirmations, are that of your desire, the maximum time should not take any longer than 1 month to fully manifest in your reality if you are 100% doing this correctly and being persistent with it. When you just say the affirmation once, you should already start feeling the effects of that affirmation coming to play. You start beginning to think of the person more. That means it is more in your awareness. That is a form of manifestation. You start thinking as the person who is in a relationship with them. Like for example, as soon as I started affirming as much as possible, like my dominant thoughts being, I have 1 million subscribers, as much as I started doing that as much as possible, I started thinking and acting naturally as the person who has already 1 million subscribers. People started seeing me as a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. I'm getting video ideas that inspire me even more. Great video ideas to go even more viral, right? So really it should be instant. How to tell if we're living in the end? Exactly the same answer. You start acting like the person, not because you're putting it on and acting as if, but because it's just coming naturally to you. It's not like I'm affirming I have 1 million subscribers and then sitting here and asking myself, what would the Rita that has 1 million subscribers be doing right now? It just comes naturally. After repeating it mindlessly, I just have inspired action to film a robotic affirming Q&A because many people are still confused on this topic. My videos are blowing up. I'm putting more of my attention and energy and focus on YouTube. You start acting more like the person you are affirming to be, like the version of you that's in a relationship with your SP, the version of you that is financially free. It's not anything forced, it just feels natural. If we're living in the end, is there a problem with acting in 3D as if we've got that desire? Does it affect our desire? Notice how you are wanting to act in the 3D. Is it out of inspiration or is it because you want to get the ball rolling? Never touch the 3D. Keep affirming. You're gonna get a burst of energy to do something, but that burst of energy, even if it is contacting them, is gonna come out of excitement. You're not gonna be questioning it. Like for example, if you're affirming weight loss, you're not going to the gym out of desperation to get to the goal. You are affirming, affirming, affirming. That is your set point, that is your standard. And then you become inspired to go to the gym, not because you want to lose weight, it's just its own separate feeling. And then that is getting you to your manifestation through the path of least resistance. By the way, this format is exactly how I film my members only videos and talk to you guys. So if you are interested in this format where you ask a question and I directly answer via video, you can also be anonymous. What are you waiting for? Join now. Right next to my name, there's a join button. That's your ticket to members only with Rita Kaminski, baby. For marriage, do I robotically affirm for engagement first this year and then marriage, or directly the marriage? It really depends on you and your resistance. I give this example all the time. I know myself and I know that I'm ready for 1 million subscribers. I have no resistance to it. I can see that being the next natural step for me, right? If I manifest 250k subscribers right now, that would be laughable because that's just inevitable also. But when I am manifesting for certain increments, it's like, yeah, I want to earn $1 million a month, but it's not like I can see that happen right now. So I'm working with myself. So I'm manifesting a smaller amount, like $1,000 a day. That is much more realistic to me. You really have to see what is hyping you up, what makes you feel resistant. So it's really up to you. You have to ask yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. If you feel like there's no way I can see marriage with this person right now, yeah, hell yeah, manifest the engagement first, manifest in steps. Both are equally as good. Both have worked for me. How to overcome doubts and fear. I don't have money, that's so expensive. You get out a journal and you ask yourself, why am I scared of this? Then you ask yourself, is it ultimately true that I am scared of money because I will never be able to afford it? No, there have been so many people that have been able to afford it with much less than me, and they were able to work their way up in their career. It is also possible for me because I am deserving of it. As an example, if you see that popping up more and more, just sit down with yourself for no more than 5 minutes and recognize that to be a fact in your reality. But I'm telling you, that is not necessary. All you have to do is continue persisting with your affirmation. It's going to write itself out naturally. So for example, I am affirming I have 1 million subscribers. Let's say a commenter says that on under my videos, like, oh, you haven't gotten 1 million subscribers yet. I just affirm I have 1 million subscribers. I have 1 million subscribers mindlessly, and it just overrides it naturally. If you're having trouble with it, just say it out loud. It will override those thoughts. How to be consistent. You have to just do it. It's as simple as that. You have to discipline yourself. It's not about motivation or inspiration. You're just forcing yourself to do it until it comes. Do you want it or not? It is not something that someone outside of you will do. It is not something that you have to watch 1 million law of assumption videos for. It is simply you. I don't want to go to the gym all the time. I don't want to affirm all the time, but I make myself by just doing it and not thinking about it, because I know that the outcome of that situation is I'm going to be toned. The reality of the situation is I'm going to get 1 million subscribers. So I'm not looking at my emotions. I am professionally manifesting. When you clock in to go to work, when you go to school, you don't want to do those things, but you are forced to, right? By outer circumstances. So that discipline that you have because of those outside circumstances, give that to yourself by doing these affirmations even when you don't want to. Intrusive thoughts while manifesting, how to deal with them. Exactly the same way. You just repeat the one affirmation over and over and over again. Do not stop and then ruminate on that intrusive thought. Let it be there. Keep affirming regardless, mindlessly, just like a robot. If you have a conversation with Siri and she doesn't understand what you're saying, she will say, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. And she's going to repeat it over and over again until you intonate properly, or you talk in a way where she understands, or you phrase a question that she understands. That's how you have to treat your intrusive thoughts. But instead of, I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that, you're affirming, I have 1 million subscribers. I have 1 million subscribers. Those intrusive thoughts are going to fall by the wayside. While affirming too much for hours, I get a headache, and after a few days, I don't feel motivated to continue the same. I need to force myself to affirm. How can we make it exciting and enjoy the process? Also, can we use 2 to 3 different robotic affirmations at the same time? The reality of the situation is that sometimes you're not going to feel like you want to robotically affirm, just like you don't feel like going to the gym, or you don't feel like going to school, but the long-term outcome is so much better than not going in the short term, that it just overrides and you do it anyways without feeling like it. But in the past, I would watch more law of assumption videos to hype myself up. I would read success stories, or I would simply think about that desire and the pure sheer want of that thing. Listen guys, you've got to want it. So the pure sheer want of that thing made me want to robotically affirm. That's it. Yes, you can use 2 to 3 affirmations. affirmations. You can use 500, you can use 5,000, but you're on my channel and I'm telling you that the best way to go about it, I'm not saying that this is the only fucking way. Please do not misunderstand me. I'm saying that through my experiences, through my trials and tribulations, I have affirmed only one thing. I have affirmed for 5 things. I have affirmed 10 things. I have affirmed for 3 things, but had 20 affirmations for all of them together. The thing that turbo blasted my desires to come into my reality is when I fixated, hyper focused on one affirmation and one affirmation only, and then I moved on to the next desire and the next one affirmation when that desire has transpired into my reality. How to affirm my SP or anything before a particular date. You need to absolutely saturate your subconscious mind by affirming as much as possible in the fastest way possible. Like, I have 1 million subscribers, 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 like super fast. And also listen to a subliminal one that has directly something to do with that. SP invites you to go on a date, right? You're listening to that overnight, you're listening to that instead of listening to music, you're listening to that instead of watching YouTube or watching TV or doing anything. You are completely saturating your subconscious mind if you wanted super fast, if you want to supercharge your manifestations. But the biggest thing that I can tell you about this, which may sound frustrating, but it's true, do not focus on the day, because you're adding extra resistance. And the paradox is that once you release the resistance, it's going to come to you. But it is not your job to think about resistance, this resistance, that. Your only job is to continue to repeat it as much as possible. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Affirming makes me feel relieved and I instantly feel a sense of wow, yeah man. But I read somewhere that the more you watch videos, the more subliminals you listen to, and the more you think of affirm related to them, and the more you visualize all of these things are giving you energy to them. So how do we take it back? This is a limiting belief. Your subconscious mind is not looking at what you're doing and judging you for it and saying, she's watching a little bit too many law of assumption videos. She's listening to a little bit too many subliminals. She is affirming way too much. I'm not going to give it to her. That doesn't even make any sense. The only rule is what you tell your subconscious mind, what you dominantly think about, will manifest in your reality. So by that logic, you are affirming as much as possible throughout the day. These people do not want you to win. This is sabotage. This is like when a girl that looks amazing blonde is told that it washes her out and she should dye her hair back brown. That's what this is giving. As I always say, do not listen to these hoes, listen to me, and continue to affirm, visualize, listen to those subliminals. We are saturating our minds as much as possible. Do I have to be specific in affirming? Would you prefer I affirm I am slim, I am fit, I'm super sexy, or should I use I weigh 60 kilograms? This really depends on you. I personally like going super specific, but if you are resistant to that, if you're feeling icky about that, change it to something more generic, like I am financially free, or I am at my perfect body weight. Whatever it is about what makes you feel the best. A general standard rule for people who are just starting out or are having trouble with robotic affirmations, I would say, is to stick to more generic affirmations like I have the most perfect body, not I am 60 kilograms. I have ADHD. I decide to robotically affirm, then 2 minutes later I'm thinking about something else. I don't know how it's possible. While I'm affirming, I'm thinking about other stuff. I totally understand that. My mind goes in 2 separate ways too. I have the affirming mind that is in the front of my lobe, and then I have the back of my mind thinking about what I want for lunch. Listen, that doesn't matter. We are ignoring that. We are consistently affirming. If you have the chance, say it out loud. I have 1 million subscribers, I have 1 million subscribers, I have 1 million subscribers, or whatever your affirmation is. That is going to dull out those back thoughts. And at the end of the day, I have to give you tough love and tell you that tough luck. Like, the only way this is gonna super work is if you super affirm, if you saturate your mind. So I would not put any labels of ADHD on anything. I would just say I am perfect at affirming. I am a master manifester. Leave it at that. Do not make a storyline out of anything and continue to stay disciplined. Focus, keep bringing yourself back to that affirmation. Why is robotic affirming most important than other techniques? Unique benefits from it. It is more of a tangible thing. It's like maths, it's quantitative versus literature, which is qualitative, if you know what I mean. Meaning 1 + 1 = 2 if you saturate your subconscious mind by consistently affirming as much as possible, you are going to get your manifestation. Rather than if you live in the end, you are going to get your manifestation. If you let go, you're going to get your manifestation. If you get into the vortex, you're going to get your manifestation. It's not something that you can measure, so it's hard for people to gauge whether they're doing it right or not. Whereas robotic affirmation, you know that if you are affirming as much as possible, you're going to get your manifestation, and it works for people and it works for me. And another reason I believe that it is so popular is because many people are fighting with intrusive thoughts as a total normal thing. Everyone has it, right? So when you find out about robotic affirming and you realize that you can literally manifest any reality that you want by just simply repeating over and over again one thing and you're gonna get it, that is really easy for people to understand, and it helps them to dull out their intrusive thoughts. Instead of sitting and meditating, which can be a slow process and those intrusive thoughts come straight away, you are basically putting on noise cancelling headphones and listening to rock music, or you are consistently repeating those robotic affirmations. It flushes out the intrusive thoughts. But the main reason why robotic affirming is so great is because it just works. Look at the success stories. Everyone knows that if you saturate your mind enough, you will get that thing. By robotically affirming, you can robotically affirm anywhere, on the train, on the plane, while you're working, while you're walking to work. You can't exactly have that feeling or visualize or live in the end while you're kind of preoccupied with something else. So there's a major variety of reasons why it's so popular, but the most important one is that it just works. You saturate your mind enough, you're going to get it. The subconscious mind will print out anything that you consistently, dominantly think. And that is the basis of law of assumption. What you dominantly think about manifests. What you think about is true in your reality, manifests into your reality. That is the basis of law of assumption. Robotic affirming is the most parallel to that, because you are forcing yourself to dominantly think directly what it is that you want, instead of sometimes roundabout ways where you're living in the end or you're getting into the vortex. If you want any more details about that, the last video that I did literally talks about this topic, why robotic affirmations are so powerful. So make sure to watch that. It will be in the card up above. Oh my God, you guys, I literally got so many questions and I'm not even halfway done yet, and I have to go to brunch with my friend. So I'm actually gonna continue this video tomorrow, but y'all won't feel a thing. Let me just time travel real quick. And we're back. Do I have to pay attention to my desire while robotically affirming? Can I robotically affirm by making my own recording and listening to it on repeat, or do I need to actively say it, think it? That is the beauty of robotic affirming. You do not need to think of your desire or feel it real in order for it to manifest. You can mindlessly repeat whatever affirmation you have picked until it comes to light. No feeling or thinking about it required, because you are thinking about it by affirming it naturally. It flows in a seamless and effortless way. You can't help but to think of your manifestation as you affirm. It is much more beneficial when you are actively robotically affirming out loud or in your head. You can record your own voice and listen to it, but at that point, that's not robotic affirming anymore. That's just listening to a tape or listening to a subliminal, which is beneficial, but it is not robotic affirming. Robotic affirming is very powerful, and if you want to utilize it to its highest potential, I highly recommend for you to say the affirmations actively in your mind or out loud. How much should we affirm per day? How much is the minimum necessary to make a real change? There is no specific measurement. However, you want to affirm as much as possible throughout the day. Your dominant thoughts manifest. If you affirm for 10 minutes during the day, and then for the rest of the 23 hours and 50 minutes, you are thinking against that manifestation, guess what's going to manifest? Whatever you have been dominantly thinking about, you thinking against your manifestation is what's going to play about. A dominant thought is a thought that you think most of the time. So if 50% is half of the time, the minimum would be about 60% of your day. But if you want to have powerful results, you want to be thinking it about 80% of your day on average. Meaning when you wake up, when you're eating, when you're getting ready for the day, when you're walking to school, when you're bored in class, when you're eating your lunch, when you're walking back home, when you are exercising, when you're taking a shower, when you are bored, whenever you want to watch TV, affirm. Whenever you want to read, affirm. You have to saturate your subconscious mind. I can't tell you the difference it made when I switched my thinking to affirming dominantly. Not just whenever I wanted to, but really putting it in my mind that I have 1 million subscribers, I have 1 million subscribers, I have 1 million subscribers. After the Robert Millikan challenge, I started affirming this dominantly about 80% every single day throughout my day, meaning 80% of the 24 hours. And I can't even begin to tell you how much it has changed my way of thinking to do with YouTube. I uploaded the video before this one that is blowing up, and I'm getting more ideas that are more aligned to not just my subscribers, but to people that are not subscribed yet. My subscriber count is already going up. I check my analytics more than 5 times a day, so I can see how fast my subscriber count is growing on a moment-to-moment basis. So ever since I have been dominantly affirming I have 1 million subscribers, it has been consistently going up, and I have been getting amazing viral worthy YouTube ideas. I have not only been executing them, but I have been executing them to the best of my ability in the most inspired way, because I have shifted into the state of being a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. What are all the ways to make robotic affirming even more effective? Whenever you are thinking of doing anything, robotically affirm instead. That goes without saying. If there is a responsibility that you need, or you're feeling burnt out and you are really inspired to watch some TV or some YouTube, go ahead. I pick my moments, but I make sure that most of the time that I'm doing my makeup, doing my hair, in the shower, on the treadmill at the gym, I am robotically affirming. You have to squeeze in every single moment and opportunity in order to robotically affirm. I believe that it is more effective when you are saying the robotic affirmation out loud, because you are forced to consistently remind yourself that you are saying this affirmation. Sometimes with thoughts, our thoughts trail off and we start thinking about something else, whereas when our mouth is moving, we can't just trail off into another sentence. It concretes, it stabilizes itself more. And thirdly, to maximize our robotic affirmations, we are picking one affirmation and one affirmation only, and we are saying it out loud on a loop over and over again. Number 4, we are picking the affirmation that excites us. Don't overthink that too much. At the end of the day, you just need to pick an affirmation that directly states that in your reality you have whatever it is that you want to manifest. It's as easy as that. You can say I have a dream body, you can say I'm 60 kilograms. I would suggest to make a list of all of the affirmations for that one desire, all of the affirmations that you have done your research on, and pick the one that stands out to you the most, the one that excites you the most. When you strip all of it, the most important thing is to repeat your affirmations, and that's it. Persistence and repetition is key. Do not give up, and keep saying it as much as possible throughout the day, during the night, while in SATs. Can we affirm in our second language? I'm bilingual, and affirming English comes more naturally to me. Whatever comes the most natural to you is the language that you want to affirm in. How to robotically affirm for multiple things? I'm not a big fan of affirming for multiple things. However, pick a time of the day to affirm for one thing. During the morning from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. you are affirming for your SP. During the afternoon, you are affirming for your dream body. And then during the nighttime, you are affirming for the perfect grades, let's say. The desire that you want the most, affirm for in the evening when you are sleepier and you are going into SATs while you're falling asleep. Or you can do the 360 route, where whenever you are thinking of something that you want, you are affirming for it. For example, you're just out there living your life, you wake up, you pick out some clothes to wear, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, hey, I don't like my body the way it is. That is a highlighter for you to affirm the desire that you want instead. Instead of saying, oh my God, I don't like my body, we are affirming, I have my dream body, I have my dream body. And we keep affirming that until the next thing that we see that we don't like about our lives, from big to small, whether you keep checking your phone and you keep seeing that your SP hasn't texted you, to someone being super annoying behind you at the coffee line. You are basically using your circumstances as an alarm clock to affirm. Personally, for me, that's too much work. I would rather laser focus onto one thing so I could give all of my undivided attention to it, but you do you. How to robotically affirm for self-concept. You affirm for self-concept the same way that you affirm for anything. You either say it out loud or in your mind. You pick one affirmation to 5 affirmations. I, again, highly recommend one affirmation. And you pick the affirmation that calls out to you the most. Some self-concept affirmations include everything about me is perfect. I have the perfect self-concept. I'm a master manifester. The list continues. Go on my self-concept subliminal, either one, and go down to the description box and check out the PDF files. I've actually included about 5+ pages of self-concept affirmations that you can choose from. Pick one. While robotic affirm, I often fall asleep. What can I do to stay awake? You don't need to stay awake. That's actually very beneficial for you if you do fall asleep while doing robotic affirming. It's actually a telltale sign that it's working. Don't worry, if you can't fall asleep while robotically affirming, that does not mean that it's not working, but you are in this dazed out, forced meditative state where you keep affirming, I have 1 million subscribers, 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 and it's so monotonous that you get into this state where you're not thinking about anything else but that affirmation, even though you might not really feel it. It is just a repetitive action, just like when spiritual teachers tell you to focus on white noise when you are meditating. It is the exact same thing. You get into a meditative state when you robotic affirm. That's why you fall asleep. That's very good. Your subconscious mind does the work for you as you are sleeping, so don't even worry about that. Is it necessary to be feeling indifferent during robotic affirming, or is it okay if we feel sad or happy? Your emotions absolutely do not matter. You can be feeling the lowest of the low or the highest of the high. Your subconscious mind is not reading into how you feel in the moment. It's not your diary. It is just taking in what you are telling it. It is just a printer. We can't robotically affirm while socializing, talking with friends, right? How do we find a good balance each day to still invest enough time in affirmations? Unless it's a mind-numbing conversation, unless it's your friend telling you the same story over again and you're pretending like you're listening and you're just robotically affirming, or unless your friend is telling you about an unwanted circumstance that has to do with your life. If you're manifesting weight loss and your mom is telling you how fat you are, yeah, robotically affirm as she's talking. But I highly recommend for you to engage with other people and have meaningful conversations, which can't really happen if you are consistently robotically affirming. I'm not one to limit you. I just can't see myself robotically affirming while also holding a conversation, thinking of what else to say, asking questions, being interested in the person. I know that I have plenty of time to robotically affirm. I feel like you do too. I don't feel like 24 hours of the day you are engaging with your friends. Even when you are falling asleep, you can robotically affirm. As you're waking up, whenever you are alone, and affirm as much as possible throughout the day and evening. Will the opposite thoughts in my head manifest while robotic affirming? No, because you are robotically affirming for one thing. I don't believe that you are negatively thinking about one specific thing 24 hours of the day. You can out robotically affirm those negative thoughts, because even if you are the most negative person in the world, you are not just negatively thinking about, let's say you are robotically affirming for weight loss. You're not just thinking about how fat you are 24 hours of the day, not 24 hours of the day. So you can override those thoughts by consistently robotically affirming. Remember, what you dominantly think about day in and day out is what manifests. So you have to override those thoughts. You can also step into the state and assume that your negative thoughts do not manifest. But the safest bet is to affirm as much as possible throughout the day. Those thoughts will override, believe you me. Is wavering a thing while robotic affirming? Yes, of course, because you can be robotically affirming and then you can get a negative doubt and that can derail you for sure. You can stop robotically affirming and start ruminating and stewing in that negative thought. So what we want to do instead is, when we are wavering or thinking negative thoughts, we still robotically affirm. We must have the willpower and the discipline to continue to to override that negative thought by continuing to robotically affirm. In that way, it is not wavering because you are persisting and you are repeating your affirmation. That means you're winning, not wavering. Curious what you think. Is it okay to barely be paying attention to what you're affirming while doing it robotically? Sometimes it feels like the words aren't really registering. Usually after I've been doing it for a while or doing another activity at the same time. That is absolutely perfect. Like I said in the other question, you enter into sats when your mind starts getting into this meditative state. You are not concentrating on what is being said. That is all in the name. It is about robotically affirming, mindlessly saying those mantras, having thoughts that you're not really thinking about, you're just saying them. Your subconscious mind registers it anyways through repetition. I said my affirmation for an entire day. I had a headache and felt really tired. How do you know when you should finally stop? Do I just keep going day after day when I can? Like, when is enough enough? Enough is enough when the manifestation fully comes into your 3D reality. However, when you are feeling physical pain, like a headache, I would suggest for you to stop. Give yourself 1 day break by doing what you love, following your happiness, and continue to go. You're not gonna die. Your manifestation is not gonna run away from you if you give yourself a break for 1 day. You actually come out more powerful because you're not burning yourself out. There's gonna be longevity in this, and you will continue to affirm the following day after you stop feeling tired, after you stop getting a headache or what have you. I have a confusion between detachment, because if you're detached and living in the end, why would you affirm or something? You are not detached in a way where you set it and forget it. You say, I have 1 million subscribers, and then you never do anything with your life. When I am manifesting, I have 1 million subscribers. I really, really want it. I am desperate for it even. See, you can even be desperate. That is totally fine. That adds fuel to the fire. But when I get this feeling of I'm literally gonna feel like I will die if I don't get it, when you start to feel like you are fully giving up or burning out, your entire worthiness and happiness is riding on that one thing, and that should not happen. We should be confidently affirming, professionally, mindlessly, until it comes, without looking at the watch. It's a very fine distinction. For example, I still check my subscriber count more than 10 times a day. It gives me a happy feeling. I am not detached one single bit. In fact, I am very attached. I am very desperate. I am very much wanting this thing. That is what is adding fuel to me wanting to affirm as much as possible throughout the day. That is the reason behind the Robert Milliken challenge. When we are so sick, like we are sick of the thought of this manifestation, it is genuinely fucking with our mental health. We are detaching from the results. We are detaching from the outcome. We are putting in an action without emotion. It's the same as you are going to the gym even if you don't feel like it. You are setting your emotions aside. Your emotions have nothing to do with it. The only thing that the gym has to do with anything to do with you is your health and your body. So we're working on that. The emotions have nothing to do with it. It's the same thing with the robotic affirm. We are detaching from those negative emotions. We are not detaching from the manifestation itself. However, if it is making you feel abysmally horrible, stop thinking about it. Let it go for literally just 1 day or 1 week. Again, your manifestation is not gonna run away anywhere. For example, if my subscriber count started to stagnate and I literally do not see any movement at all in my subscriber count, I would go completely emotionless and I would double down on my affirmations, not looking at the results because I know it's gonna affect me. I'm just going to keep on going until it manifests. And only when the subscriber count starts going up and it's making me feel excited am I going to check for it again, which is exactly what I'm doing. Each time I check, I get all giddy inside. Can we do robotic affirming while doing daily tasks? Yes, of course. That is exactly what I do. You enter into sats while you do daily tasks. Your brain goes on autopilot as you are saying these robotic affirmations, and it penetrates your subconscious mind. Because what would you be thinking instead? Just some BS while washing the dishes, while walking your dog. Just robotically affirm when you are doing mind-numbing tasks, when you are doing anything that does not require brain power, like making decisions, like talking to people. You get me. Should I be robotically affirming about having my SP while I listen to my SP subliminal at the same time? Will it interfere if my affirmation is different than the one used in the subliminal? Listen, as long as it's for the same desire, I don't see why you can't affirm and listen to the subliminal. If you are listening to a subliminal with other affirmations, but it still has to do with what it is that you're manifesting, that is perfectly fine. A lot of coaches say that robotic affirmation does not work. You need to affirm for SC and also SP, but not robotically. That is not true, and these coaches don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand the power of the subconscious mind, and I can bet you these are no law of assumption coaches. Robotically affirming is incredibly powerful. Check out my last video if you want more proof, and watch the entirety of this video because I go into depth about that. What do you do when you've affirmed for a long time but there's been no movement? I'm gonna say something that will upset people probably on TikTok. I see comments saying, I have not eaten, yet I have not lost any weight. Do you see how those two things don't make any sense? You're lying. When you eat less calories, you lose weight. When you affirm as much as possible throughout the day, you will get your manifestation. You must not have been affirming enough. You must not have been dominantly thinking every single day that your desire is true. You have not been dominantly affirming for your desire. You must have been doing it here and there, and then you must have been wavering all of the other times in between. It's simple math, you guys. Dominantly affirm, get your manifestation. If you haven't gotten your manifestation yet, you have not been dominantly affirming. Think of those gaps. Where have you been eating at midnight and then forgetting about it, waking up and being like, but I've been eating so healthy. I don't know why I'm not losing weight. Look at the gaps in your life. Where have you been slacking? You need to be dominantly affirming as much as possible throughout the day. Can you say it in your head or is out loud better? Both are good, and this is just my opinion, but I think that saying it out loud is better just because it is more forced. Whereas when I am thinking about something, it is much easier for me to start thinking what I want to wear tomorrow or when I'm gonna hang out with my friend next. So if you find yourself doing that while you are affirming in your mind, start saying it out loud instead. This really helps for intrusive thoughts as well. When you have intrusive thoughts, start saying the affirmation out loud. Your intrusive thoughts have no choice but to disappear because you're actively talking. Do you really have a lot of intrusive thoughts when you are deep into a conversation with someone? In most cases, no. So saying the affirmation out loud is more beneficial. If you are able to robotically affirm in your mind without trailing off into the distance, yeah, for sure. It is just as effective, but just know yourself and your habits. And even if you do trail off, forget about it, don't worry about it, just keep reverting yourself back to the affirmation. It's okay. What is the difference between robotic affirming and mindless affirming? It is the exact same thing. Robotic affirming is just a very popular phrase in the law of assumption community. You can call it whatever you want. It is mindless affirming. You are affirming mindlessly. Do you have to say your affirmations in the same order and wording every time you do them? No, you can say them at any time. It is up to you. If you feel like you are leaning towards one affirmation, but you've decided, no, actually, I want to affirm multiple things and I have 5 affirmations, but I'm leaning towards I have a dream body instead of SP is obsessed with me, you can set yourself a routine and say in chronological order. However, it doesn't affect your manifestation. Your subconscious mind is not thinking, oh, she didn't say it in order this time, I'm not going to give it to her. Do you have to believe that robotic affirming works? Absolutely not. You can literally never have heard of law of assumption and robotic affirming. You can literally be saying, this is stupid, this is stupid, this is stupid. But unless you are dominantly robotically affirming for what it is that you want, even if it is 40% of your time during the day, you are affirming against it, it's still gonna manifest. Hi Rita, can I combine robotic affirmations and sats together? Yes, 100% definitely. That is exactly what I do. I think it is very powerful, robotic affirmations during the day and sats during the night. It is the formula. It is my formula. It is chef's kiss. Do I need to continue to robotic affirm even if I don't feel the need? I would highly suggest for you to continue robotically affirming until that thing is at your doorstep, that thing has fallen in your lap, that thing is fully available and active in your life. Furthermore, you should keep affirming to keep that thing in your life for about a month. For example, if you're manifesting 10K and you feel like you've entered the Sabbath state, you continue to robotically affirm, I earn 10K a month, I earn 10K a month, I earn 10K a month. And then once in August, you attain that 10K a month, you still affirm until September if you feel like you have a little bit of limiting beliefs towards that. Because what happens with some people is that they affirm for their SP or for money or for whatever, and then they stop affirming for it because it hasn't stabilized in their lives and it goes away. We need to make sure that that assumption is concrete and living in your subconscious mind rent-free. Does affirming I never get acne put attention on acne existing in my life? Will it manifest? It's not gonna manifest, but it is more powerful if you manifest for clear skin instead of no acne. So you are robotically affirming as much as possible throughout the day and in the evening, I have clear skin, I have clear skin, I have clear skin, instead of affirming I have no acne, I have no acne, I have no acne. For busy girlies, can we say robotic affirmations throughout the day whenever we're free? Will it still work? 100,000 million%. I say this to my clients all the time. You do find pockets of time throughout your day. The busiest girlies have pockets of time throughout their day where they are not working or they are free, right? So in that time, when you're walking from the office to get your lunch, you are robotically affirming. When you are going to the bathroom, you are robotically affirming. You shower, right? Robotically affirm. Going to bed, robotically affirm. Waking up, robotically affirm. Having breakfast, robotically affirm. Robotically affirm anytime you have the time. Even when you are busy, there are times when you are doing mind-numbing tasks. Robotically affirm during those times as well. What times are those? Any times when you are not using your brain. Your brain is on autopilot. You have been doing something over and over and over again. And it's just something that, hey, you do automatically, like going to the gym. If you've been going to the gym for a while, robotically affirm while you're deadlifting. Does it affect the result if I'm getting sick of saying that one affirmation? Absolutely not. Think of what your subconscious mind thinks. Your subconscious mind is something neutral. Think of it like ChatGPT or an object that's just doing its job. The object has no mental capability to be like, I guess Cindy's sick of her fucking affirmation, we're not gonna give her her manifestation. No, it's gonna give it to you once you repeat the affirmation over and over again, no matter if you are sick of it or not. How does robotic affirmation reach out to universe? It doesn't. You are reaching out to your subconscious mind. Does it matter which language you affirm in? If you understand the language, you can affirm in it. Do robotic affirmations work if you have limiting beliefs? Yes, because it's not the meaning of the affirmation itself, it is the repetition of the affirmation and your subconscious mind soaking up that meaning through repetition alone. It doesn't scan your emotional, physical, spiritual, mental being asking, does Sophie believe in this or not? Does Sophie have any limiting beliefs? And if she does, let me not give it to her. It only gives you what you repeat over and over again. That is it. Is it normal to get headaches during doing affirmations? Yes, it is normal because you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. Do you keep affirming when you have a headache? That is up to you. I personally wouldn't. I was doing a challenge and I got a headache. And because of that, I did keep affirming because I was doing a challenge. I just popped a Nurofen, which is Tylenol. During a normal day in and day out, if I'm affirming and I get a headache, the second that I get a headache, baby, I love myself and I'm not torturing myself for shit. So if I feel bad in any way, I'm going to stop doing that thing. I'm going to give myself a break. I'm going to come back when I feel better. After affirming for a bit, my mind wanders and I forget to go back to affirming. How do I fix it? Self-discipline. You just have to force yourself to continue to affirm. What helps me is saying the robotic affirmation out loud. If I do wander, I don't beat myself up over it. I just revert myself back to that affirmation and I keep going, and through practice you will become better and better at this. But you've got to want it. You've got to keep going. You have to be disciplined. Force yourself even when you don't want to, even though your mind has wandered 10 million times. On the 10 million and first time, you keep reverting your mind back. Eventually you'll be good enough to not wander. This is a form of meditation. How do I know if I'm doing robotic affirming wrong? As long as you repeat the affirmation as much as possible throughout the day and not give up on that affirmation, keep persisting until it comes into your reality, you are not doing anything wrong. Even if you feel like shit, even if you've been feeling like shit for 10 years, even if there are circumstances coming your way that you do not like, even if you keep reacting to the 3D, literally anything that you can think of, you are doing right if you are repeating and persisting in your affirmation, because that's the only thing at the end of the day that matters. How do I know if an affirmation is right for me? If you're feeling drained from saying something, it's not the affirmation for you. If you are feeling neutral or above saying an affirmation, that affirmation is for you. It is normal to get sick of any affirmation, but in the early days when you haven't been repeating it and you feel like it's a bit of a mouthful or it doesn't roll off the tongue, you don't like it, you want to change it to something else, do it and keep experimenting until you feel neutral about it or above, meaning you feel excited about the affirmation. It inspires you, it makes you want to keep going. But the inspiration and excitement is not necessary. Just as long as you are feeling neutral and you are consistently repeating it without feeling like you're breaking your back, that's a good affirmation. If it's not making you question like, is this good enough? Like, am I covering all of my bases here? Keep tweaking it until you find the perfect affirmation for you. But there's a fine line, there's a fine balance, because you don't want to overthink it. I had a client ask me, I know I'm overthinking things, but is it okay if I affirm SP and I are in a relationship? Will my subconscious mind know that we are in a relationship together, or should I add it together? To me, that's overthinking. You want a relationship with this person. Your subconscious mind knows what you mean when you're saying that. I know that some people don't feel excited about any affirmation, but if you're one of those people that do feel excited, do find an affirmation that excites you. Otherwise, anything that's short, simple, and straight to the point, which is what I like to stick to anyways, is the affirmation for you. Like, I have 1 million subscribers. Short, sweet, to the point. That is your best bet. How to focus and affirm for long hours. You just do it through self-discipline. How do you focus when you study? You just do it because you have to. You have a desire. You know that to get that desire, you must robotically affirm as much as possible throughout the day and focus. To get this, you must do this. So no matter what, you are just disciplining yourself to focus and affirm. It's the same way as when you want to lose weight. You eat healthy, you go into a calorie deficit, and you go to the gym, you exercise. You know that to lose weight, you must go to the gym and eat healthy. So that's what you do despite your emotions. Also, just make the most of it. Get really comfy, make yourself tea, make yourself snacks. If you want to do it for hours and hours, giving it your undivided attention, do it in time intervals, knowing that you get a treat at the end. Either it is by watching your favorite YouTube video or having a snack, having a drink, whatever. Make it into a fun time, just like you would with anything that you don't really want to do, but you must in order to get a specific result. Do you need a specific routine for robotic affirming, or can I do it anytime? Set yourself an intention. When do I want to do it? Do I want to do it by bookmarking my days and robotically affirming that way? Meaning we're robotically affirming in the morning and in the evening, and then maybe for 10 minutes in the middle of the day. Do we want to do it anytime we're thinking about our manifestation? Do we want to do it at every single given point in time whenever we are not using our brain power? Which which one is it? Set an intention and stick to it. But you can do it at any time of the day, whenever you feel like it. It is important to make sure that your dominant thoughts consist of that affirmation though. How to keep going when 3D doesn't show results. You don't look for results and you make the most out of what is going on in your life now. You ignore the circumstances and you consistently remind yourself that this is not real. This is just the product of my previous thoughts. Now I'm gonna change my thoughts to what I want, so I'm gonna get what I want. For now, let me be dedicated, let me be focused, let me be disciplined until it comes. Let me robotically affirm emotionlessly and mindlessly until it comes. It's as easy as that. What do you think about the 10K affirmation challenge? If it calls out to you, if it's just another fun thing to do, if it's not like a means to an end, do it. Yeah, for sure. You are saturating your mind. It's a challenge. You can document your experience. You can see if this is something that works for you. Why not? Have fun with this, guys. Never do anything that makes you feel burnt out though. And never do anything where you feel like you're forced to do it. Like, there's always another option. Everyone is different. Everyone has different favorite techniques. So if it feels like a little bit too much, don't do it. Does the affirmation need to be specific? Absolutely hell no. If you want an umbrella affirmation or something generic like I am financially free, 100% go for that. You don't have to have a specific reason as to why. It could be because you're resistant, so you want to go more generic. It could be because you don't have any specific want. You just want to be financially free, or you just want to have a dream body, but you don't know exactly what it is. Anything is fine, guys. It's all fine. I literally got financial freedom from manifesting being financially free. It totally works just as much as manifesting something specifically. Sometimes I lose hope while affirming. I feel stupid and question if I'm crazy. Any tips? Keep reminding yourself that the law is real. Watch success stories. Watch law of assumption videos. At the end of the day, you just have to be disciplined with it and continue to keep going. The robotic affirmations are gonna work whether you have lost hope or not. It's like, you know that if you go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week, you're gonna get ripped. But you start losing hope after going to the gym for 2 weeks. Even if you lose hope, just keep going and putting in the action, and then you will see that you're gonna be ripped. It's just a 1 + 1 = 2. So no matter how you're feeling, put your feelings to the side and just keep professionally affirming until it happens. Robotic affirming takes all of my energy away and it's super boring. How can I change that? If it takes your energy away, you don't need to do robotic affirming. Listen, when I want something bad enough, I'm gonna make sure that I do every single thing in order for it to happen. If that's not where your head is right now, if you get drained from doing this, there are so many other techniques to choose from. If you're bored, the same answer. You have to want it bad enough. Yeah, it might be boring, but you're gonna be thinking anyways. Might as well think in your favor. Make the most of it. Put some cool music on. Remind yourself why you want this desire. Actually think about your desire, whether it is good marks or an SP. Really think about that SP. Think about the good things that come with being with this person, right? Ignite your flame again. But at the end of the day, inspiration only gets you so far, and then it dwindles, and then all you're left with is self-discipline. Because on some days you don't want to affirm, on some days you get bored or you get drained, but at the end of the day, the sky is blue. If you robotically affirm, if your dominant thoughts are that of your manifestation being real, it will become real. Your subconscious mind has no choice but to make it into a reality once it is repeated enough times. I feel like the damage has been done. I feel less motivated to do robotic affirmations. Literally, the past does not exist, so it doesn't matter what has happened in the past. Circumstances do not matter. It goes for bad things and good things. Even the good things that are happening right now, it does not matter. What matters is what you're experiencing in this current moment. And so if you want to replace the bad damage that has been done, it's not like you're going through it anymore. You anchor yourself in this present moment and you continue to affirm what it is that you want, it will come about. It will have no other choice. Your past circumstances do not define you. People stuff up, situations may go haywire, doesn't matter. All that matters is the present moment and what you want. And what you want is this manifestation. So continue to robotically affirm until it happens. And with that being said, I trust that this video gave you the guidance that you needed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because I know you loved it. I hope you have an amazing day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.